"It's okay. We got this," he says, and the dead rush out of the cave as the two warriors leap into combat. Matt blocks several blows as Elektra slashes through them with her sais, but there's too many and the undead begin to draw blood. Elektra pulls Matt away and kicks out at the monsters, another slashing her from behind as Matt charges forward, stabbing the creature with his spear, defeating him. But you're probably wondering how they got here. While this seems pretty bad, Daredevil has gone through quite a bit. He thought he killed a man, ended up in prison, became bonded with the symbiote, allowed Elektra to become the new Daredevil. Then he came back to being Daredevil alongside her, defeated the villains that he discovered were orchestrating everything. Kingpin realized what was going on and that Daredevil had removed his memory, so he did an entire New York takeover. And after that was all over, Daredevil got Elektra's help by agreeing to become her king. In our last 2 issues, we also discovered that there is now a guardian angel sent by God himself to ensure that Matt Murdock follows the correct path. But it's time for Matt to start figuring out what's going on. This is Comicstorian, where we take your favorite comic books, turn them into audio drama so you know what to add to your collection. Today we're going to be doing Daredevil 2022, issues 3 and 4. And if you enjoy this type of content, look for us on Spotify, support us directly on Patreon, or join our sister channel, Comicstorian Full Story. Let's get into it. Daredevil sits across from Detective Cole North. He's hiding his identity with a sweatshirt due to everyone believing that Matt Murdock is actually dead, ever since Kingpin killed his look-alike brother. Cole North looks at him in surprise after what Daredevil just told him. "An undead ninja army?" he says simply. Daredevil nods as he finishes his cup of coffee. He knows what Cole has been going through, and how he's been questioning the system that he's worked towards his whole life. Daredevil explains what he is building, what he's trying to put into place to stop the Hand, and how it's meant to change the system, to help guide people into better lives, and be better people instead of the same cycles over and over again. He finally stands telling Cole that he wants him there with him. Cole is a good person, and he'll make sure that Daredevil doesn't do something that he'll regret later. "No pressure," Daredevil says with a smile as he walks away. But he can sense Cole's heartbeat. He knows that Cole is going to say yes. He steps back out into the rainy city, and while he wants Cole there because of his moral compass, he knows that he also needs power. So he heads over to the newly elected Mayor of New York's office, Luke Cage. "Burning the midnight oil, Mr. Mayor?" Daredevil asks as he crawls through Luke's office window. "Oh, come on, it's 4 a.m, he says as he looks up. Matt looks at Luke behind the desk doing paperwork, surprised at his friend for not stepping down now that Fisk is gone. But Luke shakes his head, pointing out that this isn't punching out a new supervillain. "This is bigger. Yeah, it started off as a way to stop Fisk, but I can affect real change in this office." Luke tells him. Daredevil understands, but he starts to bring up his mission against the Hand, and that's when Luke stops him. "No, not a chance. This is my gig now. This and my family. I gotta get going to a meeting," Luke says as he pulls on his jacket, and Matt questions what kind of meeting is he going to at 4 a.m. "Industrialists, investors in the city, couple of weirdos, Quinn and Una Stromwin," Luke says. Matt is shocked. These are the individuals that caused all of his problems before, and he tries to warn Luke about the people he's going to meet, but Luke waves it off, heading out the door. "I'm mayor now, Matt. Sometimes grown-ups have to deal with monsters. You should know after all. Aren't you doing this with the world's deadliest assassin?" Luke Cage asks him. Now sitting alone, Matt pauses for a moment, but he won't let his friend face the Strum-Winds alone. So he heads back out into the rain, following closely behind Luke Cage's car, leaping from rooftop to rooftop. He lands at the Strum-Winds building, and he begins to listen in on the meeting, preparing to leap to his friend's aid should he need it. Meanwhile, Luke has been gestured into the Strum-Winds office, surprised by the room as it appears that they are standing in a beach. Una holds up a remote, shutting down the projector. "Quinn and I are not in a traveling mood lately, so we're bringing the world to us now," she explains, and Luke nods, sitting down, explaining that he's gone over their proposal for the city, and that he would like to have them put 25% of their new buildings into affordable housing. "Now I have some ideas," he begins as he goes through his paperwork, but Una stops him, tapping another button on her remote, transforming the office into a view of Earth from the moon. "We don't care. Honestly, we'll just go ahead and do whatever we want. We just wanted to bring you here to show you what we own. Everything. All of it," she says, walking towards him. "We made a mistake with your predecessor. We never stressed how powerful we really are. If law doesn't suit us, We'll change it. And if you get in our way, she continues, but Luke cuts her off. Before you finish that sentence, I'm going to give you one chance. If the next words out of your mouth threaten me or my family, I'm putting you in a hospital. Best your money can buy. He tells her. She just smiles, continuing with her threat. And Luke gently slams his fist into the meeting table, destroying it into tiny pieces. He turns, walking away. I'm not Fisk! I have an actual power, and I have friends with magical hammers, and you'll find my proposal is what's left of your table. He says as he walks out of the room, ignoring the shouts of anger from Quinn Stromwyn. Daredevil moves away from the walls, proud that the city is now in good hands. Later, he leaps across the city, knowing that he's finally ready to leave the city, to join Elektra in their quest to stop the Hand. But as he takes a moment to land on a gargoyle, he pauses. Matthew Murdoch, a voice calls out to him, and he turns, his senses picking up a woman standing nearby, but he can't really figure out her age or skill. The Hand, he whispers. She nods, leaping down. It's true, I'm a part of that humble organization, and it's grown so much, Matthew, she says, and in moments, she attacks him. But she moves swiftly and silently, hitting him hard so his senses can't pick her up. We've grown. We've reacquainted ourselves with our ancient rituals, new powers, and the Strum-Winds have given us access to the world, she says as she leaps off of the building. Matt rushes to the edge of the building, but whirls as he realizes the woman is behind him again. So confused. It's almost hard to believe that you will lead the Fist against us, she says, and Matt finally understands and remembers a name from Elektra's past. You're Akka, he says, and she nods. I am, she says as she rushes at Matt, but she moves at the last second, leaping off of the building. Matt quickly follows her, leaping into an open window in the next building, but he still can't sense her. I came to tell you that you have your prophecies and I have mine. Ours show you as the best of the Fist, while we found the fist of the beast, she says, and suddenly there next to him, ducking under his attack, hitting a nerve in his neck. Matt's body goes numb. He falls to the ground, unable to move, and Akka leans over him, telling him that Frank Castle, the Punisher, now leads the Hand, and he will help them punish the world. Why tell me all of this? Why not kill me? Matt gasps at her. She smiles, explaining that he was meant to know. This ends as it's supposed to. The Fist fits into the Hand, and to get there, you need to suffer unbelievable loss, she says before disappearing. Some feeling comes back to Matt's body, and he struggles up, his senses still able to track Akka, and he feels like she wants him to follow. But he senses that she's heading towards Foggy. Matt pushes his body to its limits as he pursues the woman, finally arriving outside of Foggy's apartment. But as he lands, his body begins to lock up again. He struggles up the stairs, finally collapsing. The door suddenly swings open, and a confused Foggy Nelson looks down at his friend. Matt, what the hell happened to you? Foggy asks. In the distance, Matt can almost hear Akka laughing. Foggy helps his friend to his feet, and Matt looks at him. Foggy, pack your bags. We're going on a trip, and you're not leaving my side. Later, the trio now sit in a helicopter, flying towards their new home, the home of the Fist. But Cole can't help himself looking at Daredevil. Why him? Why Nelson? Why your lawyer? Daredevil looks at his sleeping friend. You're here to help keep me out of trouble. Foggy's here to get me out of it. The chopper lands and the group is met by Elektra, and as they embrace, Matt realizes how much he missed her. She leads them into the compound, where Matt is less than enthused to see their soldiers being trained by Stick. No, we're past needing this spiteful old man, Matt snaps at Elektra. Stick smiles at him. Sure, kid. You do really great on your own, rotting in a prison cell like the rest of the criminals, he says, and Elektra just turns from them both. Stick is the one who found the texts on the Fist, so he gets to see this through with us. Matt is then greeted by Doc Sasquatch, who he invited here to act as a therapist to a group of ex-Hand, soldiers, and mercenaries that Elektra recruited. Dr. Sampson, I'm glad you took us up on our offer, Matt says as he shakes the gamma-irradiated man's massive hand. We're going to do some great work here. I can feel it, Sampson says as he walks away. Left behind, Foggy then turns to Cole, who has a look of wonder on his face after everything that he just saw. Cole, you good? Cole just shakes his head. I don't know. Inside, Matt quickly fills Elektra and Stick in on his assault from Akka. He explains that Akka is now working with the Strum-Winds, and that she has told him that the prophecies state that he will fail. Stick shakes his head. That's the thing, kid. She's got her prophecies, but we got ours. Stick says as he pats the books that explain the fist. This is why you two exist, why you were put on this earth, to push back hell. You'll be the king and the queen of the fist if you survive the ceremony, Stick tells them. The next morning, Elektra and Matt begin their journey, climbing through the snowy mountains of the island until they finally reach a secluded cave. Stick said that this is where the souls of the Hand's dead reside. To resurrect the fist, we need to defeat them. She says as she stares into the darkness, but Matt reaches out, taking her hand and pulling out his weapons. It's okay. We got this, he says, and the dead rush out of the cave as the two warriors leap into combat. Matt blocks several blows as Elektra slashes through them with her sais, but there's too many and the undead begin to draw blood. Elektra pulls Matt away and kicks out at the monsters, another slashing her from behind as Matt charges forward, stabbing the creature with his spear, defeating him. With the undead defeated, the two fighters fall to the snow beneath their feet. Elektra, Matt gasps. I'm alive, she answers, but a voice reaches them. Elektra, Matthew, do you relinquish your old life, the way of the world below for the world above, for the strength of a hand looking inward, for the fist? The voice asks, and Elektra nods. I do. Matt agrees. I do. So Stick nods and turns to walk away. I declare you the king and the queen of the reformed fist, husband and wife. Congratulations, he says, walking away from the two of them. Matt turns to Elektra, and the two reach out to take each other's hands. And the army that Matt is building is getting larger, now with his wife. And if you want to know what's going to happen next, like and subscribe, because this story is to be continued.